Hey guys, Q8428 here, back with another video. Today I'm deciding to do another D&D drawing, this time of Zernen, the man with the mysterious past of mysteries that I mentioned in the last video. This is mostly because your boy bought that beautiful new axe he's got on his shoulders last session, and the idea of him with a giant axe made me happy, and so I decided to draw it. Also, sorry that this video is really late. I have people that like me for some reason, so I had to deal with those. But, yeah, so, excuses. Anyway, the video. Instead of giving an insanely long backstory, I decided that this time I wanted to tell you guys about some of my group's wonderful misadventures, since they are their own form of art. Now, that and because Zernen's backstory is more or less unknown to anybody, including me, other than the fact that his village was destroyed and resulted in him breaking a horn, as well as getting some of the scars on his body. Our first story takes place in the first D&D campaign I ever played, The Lost Mines of Phandelver. For some context, I and a few of my friends decided to start up a tabletop gaming club at our school after learning that our teacher really liked D&D, and I, having wanted to play for a long time, wasn't going to miss out on the opportunity to try it out. The club's actually quite large now, and I'm really proud of what we made. We started on Phandelver since none of us played before, and our party consisted of, I want to say 6 players, and I played an air genasi named Naiva, who you might have seen on my DeviantArt page once in a while. I don't really remember the other party members, since everyone was new to the game and kinda discarded their characters when we started a new campaign. I mean, they probably still have their character sheets, but everyone was super eager to start Curse of Strahd and try out some new races, so yeah. Don't worry though, the story will survive. This part of the story in particular takes place towards the end of our campaign. Lost Mine wasn't going to be over, but we were mostly using it to teach everyone how to play properly and get comfortable. And currently the party was wandering around in search of information regarding, I want to say it was either undead or bandits that were scaring one of the towns. If you need a visual, I'd just go with undead bandits. But anyway, we had stumbled into this large area with a tall tower while exploring, and like your average party, we decided to look around for something useful. And that was when the dragon appeared. I'm sure there was something in between those two moments, but I don't remember what it was, so is it? Oh, also, forgot to mention, we were level 2, by the way, when this dragon happened, so yeah, fun times all around. But since it was our first time, the DM took things lightly on us. By lightly, I mean she used everything that wouldn't one-hit kill us, but I'm pretty sure a few of us still took a lot of damage. Our cleric didn't do much to help either, from what I remember. But it was while we were fighting this dragon that our half-elf rogue got an idea. See, this rogue was played by a friend of mine who, in every game he plays, loves to have the most extra anime protagonist-esque moments, and also has the trademark of dual-wielding whatever he can in D&D nowadays. This time, it's daggers. And we're gonna call him Prota, short for protagonist, because I'm creative with names. Anyway, as this dragon encounter was starting, Prota's rogue was at the top floor of the tower, having gone upstairs to look around while everyone else was spread out down below, fighting off the dragon with our really outclassed characters, somehow not dying. And it's around the time after Naiva missed another Eldritch Blast, because her aim is that of a drunk person for some strange reason, that Prota's turn came around. The problem, though, was that Prota was completely out of range to make one of his signature dual dagger trademark attacks. And you can probably see where this is going by now. While our party is somehow not doing the death before this annoyed dragon, wondering how to even, a sudden cry from above was heard, as Prota leapt from the top of the tower, daggers aimed downward, and stabbed this dragon right in the back of the neck, before he fell flat on his ass because his acrobatics roll was fucking garbage. And he was the first person in the club to gain a point of inspiration. You will be hearing way more about him in the future. Our next story, that I actually have some good background on, takes place towards the beginning of Curse of Strahd. Also, side note, in case you don't know, Curse of Strahd has two separate groups, and I play in both, in one as a fallen Asmar Malachi, and in the other as the Tiefling Zernen. This story in particular takes place with Malachi's group, so just keep that in mind. In this party, Malachi was adventuring with a group of people who were all neutral to evil, except maybe our poor gnome paladin that we tended to use when our tall asses couldn't fit in places. I think she's good. Don't quote me on that, though. But anyway, every one of us wasn't exactly the nicest sort of person, but we tended to have formed an almost friendship with each other after escaping the house filled with creatures that almost killed us, or we at least tolerated each other enough to stay alive. Well, except for one person. See, while our party is genuine chaos, we still try our best to solve puzzles and get things done. We all loved D&D and wanted to play the game properly, with some joking and junk here and there. But one of our members of our group wasn't exactly on the same wavelength as the rest of us. He joined the club towards the end of Fendelver, and we all knew things weren't going to go well for us when he insisted on eating the poisonous mushrooms on the wall because he was poison resistant, even though the DM and eventually some of us kept trying to tell him why that was such a bad idea. And while he wasn't a bad guy, he seemed to struggle with some of the most basic means of staying alive in game, and after a while even our DM seemed to get a little tired of him, at least as far as me and my friends could tell. Then comes Curse of Strahd, where, we'll call him that guy, wasn't really a part of much for a while. He never came in to actually make a character, and when he finally did come by to play, he had to use one of the pre-made characters our GM kept for new players, who were joining the club and had yet to make their own. Said characters were something akin to Dave the Average Human, if you'd seen those videos by Doormonster, in that he wasn't particularly special, personality-wise at least. I legit don't even remember his name. But we kinda just let that guy be. He made some dumb decisions, but he hadn't doomed the party, so we didn't see the harm in keeping him around, especially since we tried to include everybody. And honestly, I think we were all glad we let him stay, just so we could see the glorious display I am about to relay to you. After escaping the haunted house that scarred everyone at least a little bit, which we have dubbed the Death House, the party made their way to Barovia Village and went to gather a bunch of quests. And one of these quests had to do with helping Ismark and Irina, two people who lived there, with moving their dead father to a graveyard, since they couldn't go by themselves since Strahd, a pompous, gorgeous asshole vampire, was hunting Irina for reasons we don't know yet, because we're still campaigning. But all we could think was simple. I mean, why wouldn't it be simple, just putting someone in a graveyard? It's not like we have anything like vampires to worry about or something. Although, since none of us thought about bringing a shovel or looking for one, the party had to dig a 6-foot grave by hand, so we ended up being outside a pretty long time. Until nightfall, actually. It also didn't help that we were distracted by ghosts marching up to a castle looking all glowy and shit. It was pretty though, and with that we started heading back to Irina and Ismark's place, and guess who was waiting outside? If you guessed, the fuck-mothering vampire that we were just warned about before leaving to go dig a grave only to then stare at shiny ghosts walking by until nightfall, then congratulations! You're smarter than everyone at our table. Strahd sure was amused by us though most of us were either creeped out or trying to figure out how to get into the house and keep Irina safe, mostly so we could hopefully get a place to stay, as since most of us were evil, we didn't particularly care if these people died. Except one of the club members playing a character named Esper, who was utterly obsessed with Ismark for some reason, heaven knows why. But before the party could settle on a proper decision, we all hear that guy talking to the DM about attacking Strahd with a short sword. Nobody tried to stop him this time. It was his decision, and the DM let him make it. He got a hit in for 7 points of damage, and then Strahd, who seemed more upset that his coat was ruffled, took that guy, and with an unarmed attack, dealing more than 50 damage, sent him flying into the side of Ismark's house, where he instantly died, because we were, level 2, and the main boss of the campaign wasn't. That moment still gets laughs out of everyone, and also serves as a learning experience. Don't slap the face of your campaign with a sword at level 2, or you will get bitch slapped through a house. Our last story is... Strap in, kids, she a long one. This story takes place in Zernen's group, where the party was having dinner with the Wachter family. More specifically, it was with scary rich lady Fiona Wachter, and it starts out boring as hell, at least for Zernen. Dinner was great, but having to sit on a couch and listen to Fiona talk to our dwarven forge cleric about architecture for an hour wasn't ideal. And our rogue assassin, a Yuanti pureblood, who, I shit you not, is named Marketh Zuckerbergeth, seemed to agree. He and eventually one of the other party members excused themselves to the bathroom, which in reality meant they went off to try and rob the Wachters blind since they were fucking rich. They managed to find about 1,800 gold in a chest and some evil book before Fiona seemed to realize they'd been gone for a really long time, though not before Marcus determined he would keep all of the gold for himself. He'll pay for it later, I promise. Fiona was prepared to send people to look for them when Zernen got the idea to distract her by using thaumaturgy to make a noise so we could find our party members first. That backfired because the bitch was a fucking witch who knew what was up. Roll initiative! We ended up murdering Fiona and 2 of her servants before 2 mates found out we had killed their boss. Then they tried to flee. And that was when Proda, who was playing an Asmar paladin named Richter, decided that it was his time. He activated his ability, Radiant Soul, which, if you don't know, is a transformation that allows Richter to glow up, sprout fucking wings, and fly. We've also headcanoned Malachi is hella jealous, but Richter legit flew after one chick, and another party member grabbed the other one. They dragged them back inside screaming, where we tied them up to try and question them. That didn't work, so we knocked them out before deciding to check out the mad girl who was apparently locked in a room upstairs. Forgot to mention that, by the way. She almost got away too, but we locked her back in her room and now have to remember to feed her. We then went back downstairs only to find a secret door that led to the cult group Fiona was apparently leading. Not that they were doing much. Ricklegath would be very unimpressed with their work ethic. Literally, all of them got away, despite our high rolls, because fucking all of them rolled above a goddamn 18 somehow. And that was when we decided we'd done enough. We put the dead bodies in the secret room, untied the still unconscious maids and put them in their rooms, and walked out of the houses casually as we could, only to realize we needed no distraction because across the street the coffin maker's shop, which we'd originally gotten stolen bones from to give back to a church, was burned down after being attacked by vampires, since those bones had been protecting the shop. We made a pact never to talk about that dinner again. After that, most of the party went to sleep or to get drunk in the tavern, which was where Richter and Zernen stole that insane amount of gold Marketh stole and divvied it up to the rest of the party, which is also how Zernen got his axe, by the way. And that's that. Agents of Chaos. All of us. That's the end of the video. And in case you're wondering, I did make some edits off camera to this drawing because I forgot a few things. I do that quite a bit actually, but if you want to see more of my work, my DeviantArt page is down below. My next Speedpaint probably won't be D&D related, but I don't know, we'll see. Yeah. Again, I'm sorry this video was as late as it was. I don't know what's wrong with me. I mean, I do, but I don't. Anyway, that's all for now. Have a nice day.